While specifically looking for good seeds, I often find worthless worlds that aren't weird or wonderful, but while doing silly survival challenges with random seeds, I tend to find ones that wow me and show me things I've never seen before, like this woodland mansion right at spawn, or this dripstone cave, but it's not even a cave, or the single most beautiful spawn I think I've ever laid eyes on that also makes me want to start a whole brand new world for it. This was the seed that definitely shocked me the most. The average distance from spawn to a woodland mansion is 23,500 blocks. Being able to just immediately walk to a woodland mansion is just an incredible feat, because it means you don't just have access to a totem of undying within the first 2 minutes of the game if you want to. It also means, though, if you're willing to just sneak in via the back, you can get access to one of the harder to get items in Minecraft. Probably a bad idea to do this in survival. Wow, that is an anvil, and that is 2 buckets of lava. Well, I mean, you know, it's no buckets now. But you get the idea. Wow, isn't that incredible? Lava, evokers, and an anvil all under one roof. And the crazy thing about this seed is usually what makes a seed great, what's a quite common structure to find near spawn, is a village. But this seed has a woodland mansion, like I've already discussed. But let me show you what happens if you were to go towards the jungle. It's not quite as rare as a woodland mansion, but having a jungle temple right near the spawn is also an incredibly rare thing. It's one of the rarest structures in the game because it only spawns in jungles and it spawns super uncommonly, but there's one of these right here. And this is also another structure that gives you some weird stuff if you're willing to take it. I mean, for example, the biggest one is like sticky pistons this early in the game. Yes, you can have a couple. Do you also want to get yourself a bunch of rotten flesh and gold? Probably not, but you can have it. And yeah, even tripwire hooks and dispensers. You can get your hands on redstone, an anvil, and a totem of undying so quickly on this seed. And then after that, finding a village is going to take you a bit longer, but it's crazy to have the game be basically flipped because of this seed. So this is the seed that I used for my genocide run in Minecraft, and because I spent so many hours in that world, 50 of them, if you haven't watched that video yet, definitely recommend checking it out. It was one of those runs that seemed so simple, but you forget how many mobs there are in Minecraft and how hard they are to get, and it's got this like jungle spawn, which honestly, it's funny for me to look back at now, because I have no recollection of this. I immediately just moved straight out of the jungle, and wow, I had 2 options. I've got like the mangrove swamp, I've got the savannah, and you know what I went for? It's always the one with the village that I like to go for. It's some free stuff, it'll keep you going until you find whatever you're looking for. That might just be a second savannah village, that might be a giant pit in the ground. But yeah, going through the savannah biome just a little bit further will find you into this. The weirdest part of the savannah I think I've seen. As you can see, the savannah still generates left to right the entire place here, but this part of the savannah has a different color of grass. This is very odd, and the reason for it is because this isn't a savannah biome, it's a dripstone cave biome. There is a dripstone cave, you know, it's a famous cave biome meant to generate underground, except it generated here on the surface. So randomly around the dripstone cave, you find a bunch of these. Is this meant to happen? I've never seen it before, especially not in a savannah. You know, what rules does this follow? Does it rain here? I don't know, let's find out. So it rains over here in the river biome, it doesn't rain over here in the savannah biome, and as we go to the savannah / dripstone cave, it also does not rain. Obviously there is a big deep down dripstone cave you can dive into. I think these things are always beautiful, but it's much more interesting when it's on the surface. This is just a dripstone cave you could find anywhere if you wanted to. Although, look at this. See, this part of the dripstone cave is raining. So clearly the dripstone cave and the savannah biome are like kind of fighting about what should happen over here. And apparently the savannah wins, which is not what I'd... Oh, no it doesn't. Only in some areas does it win. I guess where there's stone, it's not winning. And where there's grass, it is. Even though the grass is kind of just blending in to match the color that it would be if it were where the stone is. Maybe? I don't even know. See, Minecraft is confusing sometimes. Okay, staying focused though, this was the desert village that I first came to in the world. As you can see, this little savannah is where I later would set up a house, kind of near where the pillager outpost is, kind of near this desert village right here. And honestly, I think this is really interesting terrain by itself. It's 2 rivers that go past each other here, but rather than making a big blob here, you can see they both clearly go around this island. Running across this terrain though really made me appreciate just how interesting it is for a plains biome. You've got lots of sources of lava, which is always nice, but you've also got just these nice little, like, this right here is an underground river that's kind of cool in my opinion. I always like the little bit of extra depth. It feels like a plains biome from old days past, but with just a few elements of the new mixed in there. Perfect place to settle down with a view of the mountain and the sea and the jungle and everything else you care about. This is a savannah village. I went there and this is where I fought a raid actually. This is the beach that I went to while I was desperately hoping for lightning to happen. It takes a long time in Minecraft, apparently. Wow, what's this over here? This is just a random slab of terrain? Yes, it is. This Minecraft world was just weird in all sorts of ways, and although I could just look at terrain over and over again and say, yeah, this isn't what a mountain's meant to look like, right? Are we all sure of that fact? Let me show you more of the most interesting bits instead, like this. It's a mangrove swamp, but it's one of the tiniest mangrove swamps I've ever seen. I passed through it after I'd already killed swamps by going, I killed frogs going thousands of blocks away. If I'd have just known this was here, I could have saved myself so much effort. You know, it's a shame I don't do these seed videos before the runs, although obviously the point of the runs is it's meant to be a seed I don't know. I think there is a real fun to be had with a true random seed because you have no clue what's coming up. Just like how this is one of the things I was most impressed with when I found it though. As you can see, it is an entire cave covered in deep dark. And I mean, to me, this was like an opportunity to kill the warden, but for a lot of other people, this is a really interesting opportunity to get your hands on a lot of extra ores because here's the deal. There is just ore found around the place and mobs aren't allowed to spawn besides the very, very scary one that might spawn around one of these. So maybe deal with those first or make sure you're crouching around. Whatever you have to do to make sure you stay safe from the warden will allow you to stay safe from everything else. And then here's the really crazy thing. If you have a cave which is covered in skulk and then you say remove all that skulk, which by the way, great source of XP. Wow, do you see that? There's precisely no ores here actually. Maybe if we go a little bit deeper down, because again, deep dark's usually found much closer towards zero. You'll start to see that, like, yeah, even if you ignore all the main blocks here, just taking, you know, actually, it's very naked under here. I take back everything. You shouldn't come here at all. This seed sucks. The genocide seed, honestly, this seed should be killed and never brought back. I don't know, just based on the race that it is. I don't know what comment I'm trying to make, but we should genocide this seed clearly and move into a seed that I found in a challenge that I actually haven't released yet. So it's funny because my goal was to beat Minecraft using only gold tools, and this was such a hilarious first seed to spawn in. It's like Minecraft was giving me a sign, but it's also such a hilarious seed to spawn in because you spawn on top of a very high pillar with very few options for the way down. Thankfully, the game, you know, through sheer chance, just gives you enough options to get down to at least this sand without taking any damage, and that is really quite cool if you ask me, that you can save yourself from any damage from this because you spawn in one of the rarest biomes in the game, the Bryce Canyon. This is based on there's a real canyon in Utah bit that looks like this, but it's some of the most stunning rock formations. It's a very rare mesa variant, and so to spawn in it is kind of rare already. It's the rarest biome, you might say, but then to spawn on top of one of these little Bryce hoodoos already, very, 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 very next level. But then even better is you're at the edge of a mesa. So if you want, you can go into a main mesa, you can go into more of these Bryce hoodoos, or you can go straight into a pillager outpost. Or you've got this big lake and you've got the even more formations over there. Look at that one. It's like kind of planted like the two-hand thing. But you can see, like, wow, yeah, there is so much option available to you on this seed, and there is so much natural beauty, and I loved it for that reason. I think if you want a single biome world start, this is basically an option for you, while also being an option for those people who don't want that at all and maybe want some desert. Although, really, desert and, you know, mesa, are they really so hugely different? Like, the sand here is literally called red sand. It's not even trying to pretend that it's not the same stuff, just slightly different colored. But yeah, I wanted to point out, because I spent about 9 minutes on this seed before I ran out of food and I gave up, and I concluded it's a really good seed, just not for only with gold tools, because there were no gold tools for me. But if you want to go and immediately start doing some weird builds, because with any pickaxe you can mine all of these terracotta blocks and start making some very funky colored builds that will perfectly fit in with the landscape. I mean, look how perfect a fit this house is for its surrounding areas. It's made of all local ingredients, and honestly, I think this is like surprisingly interesting as a house. I can't get over how this actually fits into the layout, and I quite like this. It's very easy to build. Even the eyes I kind of like with those weird eyelids I've accidentally built. I'm just saying, you want to build a happy house, make sure to go to a happy biome. These are just free seeds that I've loaded up in survival over the last few weeks that I found interesting. Let me know if you found them interesting as well. And if you want to see me play some survival challenges, I go live on this channel fairly often, and I forgot to do a subscription pitch in the middle of this video, so please do subscribe if you like the fact that videos are about Minecraft and are good, and don't subscribe if you don't like them, because I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.